Here today with Max Lugavere at Super Training Gym, and we're going to talk about eggs. I absolutely love eggs, and I get people, people tend to get really mad on the internet. I'm not really sure why they get so mad.
Why is everybody so mad at you?
But as soon as I post up a picture of my eggs, they're like, cholesterol, cholesterol, cholesterol.
Aren't they high in cholesterol?
Some of our brain is made up of cholesterol, some of my understanding, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Your brain makes up 2 to 3% of your body's mass, but despite that, 25% of the cholesterol in your body is housed in your brain. That doesn't mean that you have to eat cholesterol for brain health, because your brain actually produces all the cholesterol it needs. It's called de novo cholesterol synthesis, but all that is to say that in nature, in food, in the supermarket, where you see cholesterol, there tends to also be an abundance of other brain-supporting nutrients around it. And this is certainly the case with eggs. So the humble egg yolk, which is no doubt taken a beating over the past couple of decades, no pun intended, it's actually a cognitive multivitamin. An egg yolk contains a little bit of everything that nature has deemed important to grow the nervous system. And so it's no wonder that egg yolks are rich in cholesterol, because the brain is rich in cholesterol. But along with that cholesterol, it also contains zinc, it contains vitamin B12, it contains choline, which we know is crucially important to support our brain cell, our neuronal cell membranes. It contains DHA fat, omega-3 fatty acids, which we know is really important.
We got a lot of protein in the egg too.
I mean, protein, yeah. You get about 50% of the protein is in the white, 50% is in the yolk, but yeah, egg yolks are incredible. So I like to eat 3 to 4 eggs. I mean, I don't eat them every day, but on a good day, I'm starting my morning with about 3 whole eggs. Sometimes I'll throw in some egg whites to just increase the protein content of the scramble or whatever it is that I'm eating. But yeah, eggs are a perfect food. And we know now that dietary cholesterol has very little long-term impact over serum cholesterol. Saturated fat, that's a different story, but the two are different, right? I think we need to be able to distinguish between the two in terms of our diets and as nutrients. And dietary cholesterol at this point has been let out of the doghouse. It's no longer a nutrient of concern according to our dietary guidelines, which if you're still paying attention to those, cholesterol has largely been exonerated.
And
dietary cholesterol.
Probably like any of these things, whether it's cholesterol, saturated fat, the naturally occurring fats, and the naturally occurring micro and macronutrients, they're probably not really a place that we should be too concerned about, as long as we're not overeating and getting energy toxic over a period of time, right? That's kind of the main concern.
Yeah, and also in the diet in the perennial diet wars that you see on social media, people love to become obsessed with the diet wars with these single nutrients, but people don't eat nutrients in isolation, right?
Yeah.
It's a very convenient bad guy if you were, say, a vegan, to point out dietary cholesterol or saturated fat. But every whole food, every natural fat containing food has some proportion of saturated fat in it. So it's pseudoscience to say that saturated fat is bad for you, because with that statement, you're demonizing all natural fat-containing foods, which makes 0 sense.
That makes no sense.
Makes 0 sense for me.
And again, a lot of great protein usually accompanies the fat and protein usually found in nature. They come together.
Right. You got to think about these nutrients in terms of the whole food forms in which they come. And eggs are perfectly healthy. They're totally healthy. They contain lutein, zeaxanthin. They contain myriad nutrients that we know are just generally good for you, and also from it's a very privileged statement to say eggs are bad, right? For some people in some parts of this country, a conventionally produced egg is one of the healthiest foods that a person is going to have access to, and they're cheap.
They're cheap,
right? So yeah, we have to stop demonizing eggs. I think they're actually one of nature's perfect foods.
And maybe it doesn't matter too much about the type of egg.
Yeah, I buy
egg shame my wife all the time. I'm like, hey, what are you doing buying those eggs? Let's buy the nicer eggs.
I buy the nicer eggs. I buy the pasture raised eggs, organic if I could find them. But to be completely honest, even a conventionally produced egg, the cheapest eggs that you can find are still great. I go to supermarkets, I've got a smattering of options. I've got pastured eggs, I've got omega-3 eggs. If I can't find pastured eggs, I'll buy the omega-3 eggs. And if I can't find omega-3 eggs, I'll buy the conventional eggs. But if all you can access and afford are the conventional regular eggs, then stick to those, I think one interesting way that you can kind of tell the quality of an egg, but again, don't let perfect be the enemy of the good, is the the robustness of the egg shell. Like you'll see some of these like conventional eggs, the egg shells are very like thin and brittle, whereas on a pastured egg they're very hard to crack.
Yeah, I've noticed that before. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's actually kind of like a fun indicator. You can kind of gauge like how healthy the chicken was that laid the egg. You know, but so if you really want to like split hairs and go for the best eggs that you can afford, you know, pastured eggs I would say would be like at the top. It's also better, you know, it's a kinder approach to take for the chickens, maybe better for the environment, I don't know. But if all you have access to are the conventionally produced eggs, great, they're great.
Eat your damn eggs, going to be good for that brain health and good for a lot of other things as well. Max Lugavere, really happy that you were able to come here to Super Training Gym and to be on our podcast. Make sure you guys check him out on Mark Bell's Power Project, and also take your time to scrub through some of the stuff that he has. Where can people find you on Instagram?
Yeah, at Max Lugavere on Instagram, MaxLugavere, and then I host my own podcast called The Genius Life, so check that out.
I would also suggest that you listen to him on Joe Rogan. They got into some really great topics on there as well. I'm sure you guys can figure out where to find those podcasts. Strength is never a weakness, weakness is never strength. Catch you guys later.